What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I'm Abe. This is EVE Online, and we're continuing our discussion of ratting fits. And I'm bumping down from the battleship to a battle cruiser here, or an attack or a combat battle cruiser, as they're called in the, I don't know, the labeling system. It seems odd. Can't just find it under B for battle cruiser, but nobody asked me, so whatever. I just grabbed a few fits. I had one that I was using at some point. I went on to EVE Workbench and I grabbed a couple others. One's called a Test AFK Myrmidon, and that was posted by. Who was that posted by? Hoongan Boogan. Hoogan Boogan. Hoogan Boogan. And then the other one is this Myrmidon Ratting Shield Passive 100 MN Afterburner. And that was posted by Dom Arnaud, and that's DOM space ARNOUX. And this is on eveworkbench.com. So I'm going to walk through these, but I think the general, like you saw in the Dominic's video, that there are going to be some commonalities throughout. And the cost here is significantly lower than the cost for the Dominic's. I don't remember, I didn't talk much about the cost. Let's look. So for some of these, it was 250 million, 280, 272, 290. So generally speaking, that's the range that you're in, and that's just an estimate for, I'm in Apanake at the moment. But so if we look at these Myrmidons, they're all like 90 million, so they're like a third the cost. And so for some combat anomalies, you'll be just as able to do them in a Myrmidon as you would in a Dominic's. You'll be a little bit slower, and you'll see here as I click through that a lot of these require heavy drone operation 5 and possibly medium drone operation 5 and a bunch of other skills that that I may or may not have. So on this character, I don't have micro jump drive operation. So as I look at these, it's going to be, you know, you'll see the little orange book here. And I also have am lacking on a bunch of skills. Like I said in the Dominic's video, I'm using this character to go through the fitting exercises because I don't want to use my main character who has like 75 to 80 million skill points and has all of the fitting skills maxed out, so that, you know, I can like squeeze into certain builds, whereas let's just say a normal character like this one with 16 million skill points would not be able to do that. So I want to show a little bit more realistic, a little bit more commonly available skill point total fit, and see what that looks like here. So for all three of these, this one looks like it's a little tight, but it still fits. So you may have challenges, but keep your eye on that. Others is just not at all. So let's start at the top. We'll work our way down. This one, the only, well, we'll just work from the top down. All right, so I've got Drone Link Augmenter 1s, and you'll see that a lot of these are not Tech 2. Well, that's a Tech 2, but the Medium Armor Repair, that's Tech 2. Those are Tech 2. All right, so these are just Tech 1s. If you want, you can make those Tech 2s, and these just extend the range that you can control your drones. We've got 2 large lead-acid cap batteries here, and that helps us reach the point of cap stability. We've got a medium micro jump drive, a cap recharger 2 also going towards cap stability, and a 10 MN monopropellant enduring afterburner. Now, you know, you look at this, we're not going to be going very fast. So I feel like you can maybe pick one or the other. If you have a much bigger one, and maybe we'll see that in the 100 MN afterburner build, that this may be the closest thing you can get to the old VNI fit, where you're sort of AFK ratting this ship. Maybe not this specific fit, but that, you know, you're basically trying to orbit something fast enough from far enough away that you're not going to get hit very much or at all. And if you do, what little tank you have built into here can save you from that. The micro jump drive is sort of a get out of jail free card. You can tap that and immediately you're 100 kilometers away from whatever it was you were attacking. So again, this is a Gallente drone boat. So if you look at the bonuses here, you've got bonuses to drone hit points and damage. You've got bonuses to the armor repair, bonus to drone micro warp velocity. And if you really wanted, you could put a command burst on here, but none of these fits have that, and that's also a bunch of skilling that doesn't give a lot of benefit if you're just solo ratting. All right, so that's the mids. And in the lows, you've got 2 Tech 2 medium armor repairer 2s. You've got a reactive armor hardener. And if you don't know, these work where you start out as 15% across the board, and then as you take damage, it reacts to that damage and pulls from where you're not taking damage. Like, let's say you're being attacked by blood raiders, so you're taking primarily EM and thermal. It'll pull from explosive and kinetic, and those will go to 0, and it'll go to either like 30-30, 30% EM, 30% thermal, or maybe it'll even go like 60% thermal if you're taking primarily thermal damage, and then 0 for the others. Either way, this will tailor itself to the whoever and whatever it is that's attacking you. So as far as these modules go, you don't need to change them in order to cater to the specific damage type that you're going to be incurring. But as you see, once we get past these Tech 2 drone damage amplifiers, and there are 3 of them, that the rigs are actually set up in a way that are specific to a certain pirate. So these are specific to anti-thermal, anti-EM. So whatever it was that we were going up against, if we pull up the biography, so we were either going up against Blood Raiders or Sancha, maybe even Khanid, Amar, you know what I mean? So level 1 or 2 rogue drones, regardless, that this ship, this fit, is catered towards that damage input. So if you're going to be just killing pirates in a given area, in a given region, tailor your rigs to the damage type that you'll be exposing yourself to. Everything else is pretty much damage and pirate agnostic. It's just the rigs. So that's the first one, and again, that's around 90 million. This ratting shield passive on 100 MN afterburner build. They've got only 1 drone link augmenter. They've got an auto targeting system. Now, I've seen these used a lot of times on drone builds because I've heard that a system like this will draw aggro from NPCs or from rats away from your drones. That merely by having and using an auto targeting system, they view that as a higher threat than a lot of drone activity. So you might consider using this if you're having problems with your drones being attacked. Now, this is a shield tank. You've got 2 adaptive and vulnerability hardeners, and those are Tech 2s. You've got a large shield extender, and that's also a Tech 2, a large cap battery, and a 100 MN monopropellant afterburner. So compared to the 320 meters per second or whatever it was on the previous build, this one's booking around at 80 or at 800, and so a lot of your tank is coming from speed tanking. And because it's an afterburner and not a micro warp drive, you don't have your signature radius doesn't balloon as a result. So food for thought. It is cap stable, but keep in mind that as you're looking at this, there is no shield booster here. So you're relying entirely on passive shield regeneration, which is only coming back at 19 hit points per second. So yeah, take that into consideration. You're not going to be healing a bunch of damage. You're just going to be sort of tanking a bunch of damage. In the lows, you've got a damage control 2 module. You've got a capacitor flux coil, which capacitor recharge and capacitor capacity. It looks like you take a hit to your capacitor capacity and you get a bonus of 40% bonus in recharge rate. Again, I don't know why we're so focused on cap stability here, because you're not like these 2 anyway don't use a lot of capacitor. This uses a marginal amount. This uses a good amount, but still, like, look at this. We're at like 76% capacitor. I'm not a big fan of this build. Anyway, drone damage amplifiers, and there's 4 of them. And then anti-EM, screen reinforcer, field extender. All right, if this was a shield passive, I'm going to adjust this build a bit. Capacitor control circuit, yeah, I don't care about this. I kind of don't care about this or this. All right, so here's what we're going to do. If we're really going to make it, let's get rid of that. If we're really going to make it cap stable, let's see here. I am forgetting the name off the top of my head, but let's look at shield rigs. I think we're looking at large core defense field purger. There we go. These are just Tech 1s because you don't want to balloon the cost too much. So now we're at 33 hit points per second. Let's see. We'll look at the lows. We don't need that. Our fit is fine. Shield power relays. I don't think... Yeah, there we go. Capacitor recharge rate bonus, negative 35%. Alright, well, by having that, now we're up to 44 hit points per second. I would assume that if I pull this off, yeah, we're not cap stable anymore. But... yeah, if I put a shield booster there, that would counter. Let's do this. We'll get another shield power relay there, and we'll get a large PB. Where is it? Large, compact. There we are. All right, so it might not be cap stable, but you know, 12 minutes. That's pretty good. You've got 60 hit points. Your damage isn't too substantially lower than it was, and maybe we can use a Tech 2 version of that. Here, let's look at variations. Yeah, 14 minutes. That's better. If you really wanted to dump money, you could use a faction version of it, and then you would swap these out for specific resistances to target your whatever you're going up against. So this would be mine, maybe, and maybe I would drop this for another shield power relay if you really wanted to have a passive shield fit. Now let's see what that does. We'll get rid of that. Shield power relay 2. Now we've got 3. Now we're up to 78 hit points per second. Look at that. Now, you know, EM and thermal is a little low, but yeah, maybe I'll add another drone link augmentor. There we go. Look at that. See, now we're sort of cooking, but you really shouldn't be taking too much damage. Anyway, I digress. So you can play around with these things and see what works for you. And let's look at the test AFK Myrmidon. We'll click that through. This looks like they also want to do some neuting. And it's an interesting build. It looks a little PvP oriented. Alright, so we've got some neutralizers. A medium infectious scoped energy neutralizer. A small energy neutralizer 2. Again with the auto targeting system. 2 drone link augmenter 1s. A cap recharger. A warp scrambler 2. A large compact lead acid battery. A medium micro jump drive. And again with the 100 MN afterburner. And this one is a monopropellant enduring. It's armor tanked with an thermal and EM hardener. So they must have been going up against Sancha or Blood Raiders. And then a medium armor repairer 2 and drone damage amplifiers. It's got 2 capacitor control circuits and an ancillary current router. And it still isn't cap stable, but I don't know how important that is. Right? So you're not going to be running this thing all the time. You're probably not going to be running, maybe you will be running that all the time, but you're definitely not going to be running those all the time. So yeah, that's perfectly fine. They don't have any drones in here, so you'll have to put those in yourself, but you know, it's picking and choosing what's important to you. So these are 3 different looks. 2 armor tanks, 1 trying to be a shield tank. I'm not sure I like where that one was. But again, speed tanking, drone damage, and just keep yourself out of trouble. You shouldn't be trying to tank too much. They should be trying to attack your drones, but failing. And with a little bit of drone control, you should be all right. So this is another ship to look at and to consider. It's a little easier to get into skill-wise than the Dominics. It's definitely cheaper. It's only around 85 to 90 million as opposed to 270 or 80 or whatever. And yeah, worth considering. So in the next video, I think I may touch on the Gila or the Gila, depending on how you prefer to pronounce it. I think Gila is correct, but you know, whatever. It's sort of a jack of all trades these days, and it would be something that a lot of people has very low skill requirements, and it's something that a lot of people would have access to. Relatively expensive for the class of ship that it is. It's just a cruiser, but we'll get into that in the next video. So thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. But feel free to check me out on Twitch, and well, you found me on YouTube, so you don't need to check me out there, but I'm also on Twitter. So you can find those things and these fits in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.